Okay, it's Women's History Month, and as I promised, I'm dropping little tips all month about how you can become the main character in your own life, making history in your own life, and things that you're probably doing that is not leading to successful results as a woman. I already covered the art of saying no, but we're going to be exploring learning how to say no even when it makes us uncomfortable all month. And then I also discussed that it's okay for women to be pissed, to be angry, to be visibly angry. We don't need to suffer in silence. So if you haven't seen those two videos, go back and check out the one about no, and then the one about it's okay to be pissed. For today, I'm going to cover another reason why you are not feeling like the main character in your own life is because you have not mastered the art of detachment. Now, I'm going to try to tell you a quick story and tell you why detachment is so important. Okay, March 2020, COVID hit. In the Northeast, we were on complete lockdown from March to about end of June. And then after that, it's like you could schedule doctor's appointments and stuff like that, but everything was so, uncertain, and we just didn't even know if we could go outside. Well, in summer of 2020 into fall of 2020, I experienced the worst romantic heartbreak I have experienced to date. So I hope it never gets worse than that. During that time period, for the first time in my life, I was having some major medical issues, and I ended up having to have surgery fall 2020. So this is an instance of when it rains, it pours. So I'm brokenhearted, and on top of it, I'm having like a bunch of medical issues. When I tell you I was sleeping with a broken heart, it was like John Mayer mixed with Alicia Keys, like try sleeping with a broken heart to sleeping with a broken heart. I was never suicidal or anything like that, but I had some really dark moments, especially in August, September. By the time October rolled around, my surgery was coming up. And mind you, we're in the thick of COVID. So there's also that fear that you can go in the hospital, you can come out with COVID, you could come out with more issues than what you went into. And this is the time that my support system, I had a small group of people that really held me down during this time, where my support system stepped in, and then my faith also had to step in, okay? During that time period, finally when I have to focus on my surgery, I decide I can't worry about the broken heart, because if a bitch ends up dead or sick or dismantled or whatever the hell that could happen in the hospital, I had never had a major surgery. I had never had surgery before. So I had to switch my focus really quick and focus in on my health, and I did that. Once I came out of my surgery, within 48 hours, I received like an amazing job opportunity. And even though I was all drugged up or whatever, I literally let them know, give me like another 24 hours to let the meds wear off, and then I'll get to the paperwork and all that other stuff. So during that time period of being brokenhearted, going through medical issues, I turned all of myself and I focused on my health, and then I focused on my coins, okay? I worked my ass off, and I stopped sleeping with the broken heart. Well, don't you know, once I did that, he resurfaced again. And it was a difficult thing. But from that point on, I had to learn detachment. I had to learn that whatever people are doing to you in this moment is really more about them than it is about you. I had to learn, I'm trying not to get emotional about it. I had to learn that, sometimes people will treat you in the worst manner, but they're going through a battle and they're just like dropping that battle on your doorstep. And I had to learn how to detach. So over the span of the next couple years, I still would be cool with the person or whatever. But what I learned is I went from being that woman where I wouldn't go a day without hearing from him or not wanting to hear from him, to we could speak once every 6 months or twice a year or whatever. And how I did that is I sat in my feelings. That's the thing about detachment. It's not pretending. It's not about pretending that you're not hurt or that something didn't happen. I sat in my feelings. I let those feelings take me where it went. And baby, when I hit the bottom, literally the bottom. When I hit the bottom, I said, no one is going to drag me romantically to this level ever again. And that's the thing. You have to learn that when there's certain things that you feel like you are so attached to, you're so attached to this narrative, how dare this person treat me like this? A lot of times it's our ego. And it doesn't mean that we're not hurt. So I was hurt and I visibly showed I was hurt. But then when it was time to get in the game and focus on my health, focus on my career, I went ahead and did that. And then from that point on, the ball was in my court about how we associate with each other or if we ever speak again. And this is not really someone that I can really have a grudge against. So, but the whole thing is, it's not even about him. It is about he taught me how to live without him. And in that lesson, I learned to detach my emotions. If something else was happening, I have learned that this is his battle. If there's something else he's saying or doing that doesn't make me feel good, or if anybody else, okay, even outside of a romantic situation is doing that, I have to keep reminding myself that you have to detach from the situation because the battle is not yours. It's whatever demons these people are facing. The battle is not yours. I tell you, if we as women master being detached the way these men do, you will see your life start to change. And I'm talking about being detached from situations that are not healthy for you, okay? It was okay for me to sleep with a broken heart for 3 or 4 months, but ma'am, I'm not going on and sleeping with a broken heart for a year or 2 years. I'm just not doing that. I'm a good person. I'm a good person. And I had to remind myself that I am a baddie. And I had to remind myself that I'm smart, I'm intelligent, and just because that person does not see my worth does not mean my worth does not exist. So I want you to try to detach from a situation. It could be work, personal, whatever it is. And to say to yourself, it could even be like your mother saying something to you that's hurting your feelings, and say to yourself like, hey, this thing is really about that other person. They said some nasty stuff to me, but if they were in a good place, they wouldn't be acting nasty, right? So we need to master detachment. Try it this week. Try it in a small way, baby steps, just like with the no. Just say to yourself that some things are not worth, taking to bed at night. And I know that's easier said than done, but baby, I had to do it. When I say I lived with a broken heart, I felt like I could not breathe. And I am not a crier, baby, and I cried through all of the months, okay? I cried when I'm going to bed. I cried in my sleep. I cried when I woke up. It was a lot of crying. And I'm sure he would be surprised to know that I even cared that deeply, but I'm a Gemini, so there's always a layer of me that I'm not always sharing with someone. And so anyway, the whole point is learn how to detach. Detach from something this week. Write me in the comments. Let me know what you've detached from. And try it for a couple of days and see if you can't control other people, but you can control how you respond to certain things. And see if that detachment is making any positive changes in your life. We cannot be connected to every emotions, women. We just can't. It's Women's Month. We just can't be doing it. And I'm not saying that we need to be men or act like men, but there's some things from their playbook we really need to write down and take it down, because those mofos be going to sleep at night just fine when we are upset, crying, and all this other extra stuff, okay? So yeah, it's okay to be pissed off in some time, sometimes, but it's also okay to detach from a situation and save your mental health. All right, that's today's tip. It's KJM. Let me know how you feel about this. I did not expect this to be so long, but I also didn't know that I was going to tell a personal story. All right, love you guys. Be blessed. Be wonderful. It's Women's Month. Let's keep rising.